Good afternoon. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. Welcome to your session on 3 topics in 1 class. We cover a range of topics. Today I have chosen 1 grammar topic and 2 vocabulary topics. These are going to be helpful for you for any aptitude test that you take. As you know, CAT is the only MBA exam which doesn't really have direct questions on grammar. Every other exam that SNAP, MHCET, MBA, all these exams have questions on error detection, on one-word substitution, and idioms and phrases, which we are going to cover today. Let's start with idioms and phrases. Right? I hope I am clearly visible and audible. I keep forgetting to ask that. If you can see me and hear me clearly, please let me know. All right, and then I shall start. We will finish the session quickly, solve a lot of questions, and I'll explain similar questions while we are doing it. Right? Hello, Harshad. That mock was of great help. Great. Did you do, are you preparing seriously for it? Excellent. So let's start off with a question which is relevant to that. What is the expression writing on the wall? The writing is on the wall. If they say, what does that mean? What is that idiomatic expression? Do you know why it is called idiomatic? Because it doesn't follow any rules, it only follows custom. So whatever is part of the customs is idiom, it's part of usage. Okay? And so most students say, I'm not good at idioms. Obviously you aren't, because idioms require a lot of reading. Modern novelists don't use too much idiomatic English. Idioms and phrases, they use idiomatic English, which is usage based English, but they don't use too many of English idioms. And again, American idioms are very different from British English. Fortunately, all aptitude tests ask us British English. The writing is on the wall that some particular exam is not going to be an independent exam anymore. It's going to become part of CAT. Right? Writing on the wall, सब लोग पढ़ सकते हैं. Right? Everybody knows. So writing on the wall, well, if you soil the wall by writing your name on it, that is called graffiti. But I mean, opinions differ on graffiti. They are graffiti artists. They go with paint cans. They risk their life and limb to go and make a painting when they have something to say. See, words and pictures are very effective means of communication. You get a release when you want to say anything, which is why graffiti is so. Well, many people would, in the thesaurus, if you see, they will say prediction is also an omen, or a prediction is also a writing on the wall. But the exact meaning is the writing is already on the wall means something which is very apparent to everybody. Something that you know will definitely happen. All right. D is a close option, but it's just a I'm sure it comes as one of the synonyms of writing on the wall. But when you say the writing is on the wall, it's very obvious. It's going to happen very soon. Everyone knows it. So the obvious truth, something which is very obvious, something which is clear to everybody. All right? Okay. Now, there are many idioms which are based on colors. There are many idioms which are based on animals. Similarly, there are a lot of idioms which are related to body parts. SNAP earlier used to give these, match the following, which idiom. So you have to think of the idiom which is related to palm, which has the word palm or palm something in it, which means one of these. It's going to take you a little time. Palm, foot, eye, stomach. These are the body parts. And do you know any idiom with any of these options which means to be very nervous? Do you know any idiom with any of these which means to capture attention? Any idiom which means to dispose of by trickery or by guile? Any one you know, then you will have one to match, and then you can follow the rest. Right? So Pratham thinks the answer to this is C. This is question 2. What about the others? B. All right. Let me see the answers. Ankit thinks it's B. Pratham thinks it's C. Prathna thinks it's C. So you have to lean forward to know the name. Yesterday, I kept calling Kushal Khushi. Finally, he said, ma'am, my name is Kushal. I said, oh, sorry. Okay, Vrinda thinks it's C. Okay, you palm off something means you dispose something off. I palmed off my old cell phone on somebody for a nice price. Okay, काम नहीं करता है, उसको पता नहीं है. Okay, that's called palming off. All right. This all of you know, who to pay the bill, not necessarily that you're being forced to pay the bill, but yeah, to foot the bill. Who will foot the bill? I will. All right. And when you go for lunch or dinner and you decide to split the bill based on who ate what or whatever, what is that called? Or maybe not necessarily who ate what, but whatever is the bill amount, we'll split it equally, we'll share it equally. What is splitting the bill called? There is an expression for that. Remember, the British, my handwriting is very bad, and on the going Dutch. On the tablet, it's worse. Okay, the British never thought of the Dutch very favorably. Anything associated with Dutch is negative. When you, so you've seen lot of, I don't know if you've seen, I have seen, that's how I learnt my Hindi, by watching Amitabh Bachchan movies. Most of the time he goes to bash up the most thuggy looking thug when he is under the influence of alcohol. At other times he'd probably run away. And just before that, there is one dialogue which he gives in front of the mirror because he's fully drunk. That's why he gives this dialogue. He gets beaten up, comes back, and then again he talks to the mirror saying, "Tujhe bola tha na, don't go." So that is called Dutch courage. Courage under the influence of alcohol. When you are drunk and you act courageously, that's called Dutch courage. Going Dutch means splitting the bill, though I don't think that's so negative. Actually, I feel very comfortable when we go Dutch. When you go to a restaurant, somebody else, why? Let's have an equal share, nobody feels. All right, catch someone's eye to capture attention. Butterflies in your stomach to be nervous. If you cannot stomach something, that means you can't tolerate something. You're offended. You can't tolerate something. I could not stomach his insult. But if you say I have butterflies in my stomach, it means to be nervous. Just before you go for cat, that we actually get bored. They kill you with boredom. They make you get into that room and then you're sitting and looking at each other's face. You don't have a watch. Obviously, we don't have a cell phone, the most common time pass. So you just have to sit and stare at each other's face. I find a lot of people looking at me, what is this woman doing here? Right? That is also equally embarrassing. All right. Which two sentences in the following convey the same idea? Choose from the combinations listed below. There are four. There is a saying and its meaning. All right. So tell which saying has been correctly matched with its meaning. This is slightly close. Give me the question. Oh, question number यहाँ पे भी नहीं है. I think this is the third question, right? Yeah. So we'll put it as 3. Okay. Which two sentences in the following convey the same idea? He is in a fool's paradise. He can't see the wood for the trees. He can't distinguish between reality and fantasy. This should be fantasy. And unable to separate the unimportant details from the really important ones. Jen thinks it's D. Vrinda, was that answer for question 3? Yeah, Janum, Dutch, what did you write? Dutch should be capital D though. Yeah, tell me. What's the answer quickly? D, 1 and 3. Fool's paradise means, yeah, can't distinguish between reality. Now tell me, wood for the trees का मतलब क्या है? Can't see the wood for the trees. Or losing the wood. This was an expression used in a cat passage. They didn't ask a question on it, but there was an indirect question which required understanding this. When you can't see the wood for the trees, you are looking at the trees, you're not seeing the larger picture, you're looking at the minute details and not getting the big picture. Somebody who's being very finicky about the smaller detail. That is not about throwing out unimportant information. So yes, D is the correct answer. Perfect. All right. If somebody is high-handed, what is the meaning of high-handed? Sympathetic, oppressive, generous, or democratic? What is the meaning of high-handed? Sympathetic, oppressive, democratic, or generous? If somebody is high-handed, it means he is what? Let me just ask you on the body parts question. I had a few more. Okay, at the end we will see. We have lots of questions. Quickly give me question 4. If you're high-handed, you are not democratic, you're the opposite of democratic, you are very dominating. If you are high-handed, that means you're very arrogant. If you rule with a heavy hand or high-handedly, that means oppressively. Heavy hand would have been better, but this is an original snap question, so I left it like that. Okay, I will come down with a heavy hand means being very oppressive. Heavy hand, high-handed means arrogant, dominating. Okay, but with the high hand we don't say, we say with the heavy hand. I deliberately used that because this is the way you got it in the question many years back. It's an old snap question. If you rack your brains to solve this difficult problem, what does it mean? Read a large number of books, consulted several people, took the help of many brains, used your common sense, or subjected your brain to hard thinking. Racking your brains means what? Racking your brains. This is not related to that. Ignore this. I'll tell you. Related to this is another one. Yeah, that means you thought hard. All right. Okay. He is very successful. He is raking it in. What does it mean? Raking it in. It का मतलब क्या है? What do you think? I can give the full one. There are two ways of saying it. But generally, what does it mean? Raking. What do you what do you rake in? When you say somebody is raking in something or raking it in, what is the obvious thing that you think about? What's the object you're thinking about? Quickly. This is what? Question 6 or 5? When somebody is very successful, बहुत पैसा बना रहा है, he doesn't know what to do with it, so he uses the rake. He uses the rake literally to collect all the money he has, just like you rake in dry leaves, right? You know what rake is? A gardening instrument that is used for sinking in means you are realizing, oh, the reality is only sinking in now. मतलब अभी पता चल रहा है the reality of the situation, right? But raking it in is used in terms of money. Somebody is raking in money means somebody is making a lot of money. All right, a rake is a gardening instrument used to clean leaves, dry leaves that fall from the trees. You can't use anything else to remove such large amounts. So the same way, somebody is making so much money that he is raking it in. All right. Okay. I was supposed to give a speech to my English class, so he or she must be a teacher. I don't know how a teacher got cold feet, but assume that the teacher got cold feet and I didn't go. What does the expression cold feet mean? Getting cold feet. And you have cold shoulder. No, not the fashion wala cold shoulder. What is? Achha, let's look at cold feet first and then we'll look at cold shoulder. Getting cold feet means डर के भाग जाना, okay? Becoming nervous. Giving somebody the cold shoulder. If you give someone the cold shoulder, what does it mean? Nowadays you have clothes where there are slits everywhere. So when I go to the shop, I'll say 3 छेद वाले dress चाहिए, 1 for the neck, 2 for my hands. I don't want more circles cut out elsewhere. And with great difficulty I find some. But that he told me, the shopkeeper, when I went to some ready-made shop, one, he looked like I was some sort of a nut who's come strayed into the shop, and then he said that you don't get like that. Cold shoulder means ignoring somebody or treating somebody very disdainfully. Okay, cold shoulder is giving someone the silent treatment, but basically either ignoring somebody or making them feel that you've made some mistake, acting in a very unfriendly manner. Okay, one more. Cold shoulder ho gaya. What does on your toes mean? If you're on your toes, what does that mean? On your toes means alert. Okay? If you eat your words, what does it mean? Take care of what you say, you will have to eat your words. Hindi film, they write the thing on on your toes means to be alert, to be ready for something. To be alert and ready for something. Perfect. You have to eat your words means to be ready for any eventuality. Perfect. Eating your words means to take back what you have said. What does eat humble pie means? Answer for this is B, true. What does eat humble pie means? What an Australian commentator said about the crowd in Ahmedabad after the Indian final and after the World Cup final, and was totally, I think the poor guy didn't expect to see he thought he was being witty. He said the Indians, not just the Indian cricket team, but the entire Indian nation has been forced to eat humble pie. What does that mean? To yield to yield under humiliating circumstances. To apologize or to admit your defeat, to admit that you're wrong in a very under almost humiliating circumstances. That is called eat humble pie. Okay? Alright, many others are there. If there is time after the class, we will quickly do idioms in alphabetical order. Okay, whatever I remember from A to whatever, we'll see. There's a lot of grammar also, and I wanted to take you through the concept behind the grammar. He told you dash. So this is question tags which have been asked in SNAP, ZAT, MHCET, MBA. Therefore, suddenly it becomes very important. Very easy rule about question tag. Once you know it, you will never make a mistake. Alright? So, what is it? He told you dash. Isn't it? Wasn't it? Didn't he? Hasn't he? Didn't he? Right? Okay, now remember, whatever is the verb here, okay, the question tag has to be similar. Alright, hasn't, nahi. He has done it. If I say has, so the question tag will have the same verb, then you will say hasn't he. Okay, he did it. If I say he did it, then the question tag, if the sentence is positive, the question tag will be negative. If the sentence is negative, the tag will be positive. Okay, he did it, didn't he? Now, told, the only thing is, did he tell you? Yes, he told me. So remember, the word that you want is do. Therefore, he told you, didn't he? He did not tell you. Then what will your question tag be? Did he? Alright, so remember that the verb has to be the same. Here it cannot be because it is he told you, he did tell me. Right? Remember it like that. Do and did comes before certain verbs when you think about it. The others, the verb has, hasn't. He asked you, didn't he? Alright, whatever is the sentence, the tag will be opposite, positive to negative, and the verb remains the same. Choose the correct alternative. He told you में did ही नहीं होगा. Ishita, he told you में did ही नहीं होगा. Sorry. This is positive, so the question will be didn't he. He didn't tell you, did he? Oh, that's the answer you were giving. Okay, news. News is a singular verb or a plural verb. A singular subject or a plural subject. News. North, east, west, south, whatever be the... It's a singular subject, okay? Plural in form but singular in meaning. There are certain verbs which are singular in form but plural in... Okay, got it, Ishita. Thoda tube light dheere jalta hai. When I saw your answer, then I realized that, oh, this is what she meant. Okay, so news is plural in form. It has an S here, but it is considered a singular subject. All right. What about the term economics? The economics of the trip dash. Huge debate on MBA Universe, MBA.com. The problem is, okay, I sometimes go through those sites to pick out questions. Sometimes you say, I'm giving the students the same questions. Let me just look for variation. And there was a mile-long discussion on this. Okay. All right. This is going to set you off. Okay. What does it mean? Economics, statistics. Okay. Have you heard of statistics, the subject? Obviously, ma'am. Mean, median, mode, वो सब होता है. I was good at that. That was the only thing I was good at. Right? What is the other meaning of statistics? All those commentators, everybody with the computer will say, this is the first time that a number 8 pair has scored more than 50 in Ahmedabad. Thanks to the computers, they give you all irrelevant facts. Earlier, we only used to keep track of how many centuries did a person score, how many half centuries, and how many tests. But now it has gone to test, 1 day, T20. Statistics as a subject is singular. Statistics, when you talk of the numbers, 150, 170, 200, 210, these statistics show that Virat Kohli is in great form. So statistics, when you're talking about, no, there will be no apostrophe. As a number, then statistics is plural. Economics ka bhi wahi hai. What is the meaning of the economics of the trip? I'll say, come on, all of you come to Bangalore. I live in Bangalore. I will arrange for you to come to my city and go back to wherever you are. You have to pay me 25 lakhs per ticket. Really? Why? Even if I go by Concorde, will it be that much? Concords are not there anymore, ma'am. So what are you saying then? Kuch set nahi ho raha hai. Right? So economics here means money matters. Yes. So you will say economics not is pleasing, are pleasing. Now immediately after this you go to any of these sites. What is that? Where people keep asking questions. 10 wrong answers, after that one wrong correct answer will come. The economics of the trip means the money matters of the trip. Somebody tells you give me this much money and you suddenly think ये बहुत ज़्यादा पूछ रहा है. Doesn't make sense. Here it makes sense. Are pleasing मतलब बहुत अच्छा है. Whatever it is, I am very happy. I'll go by business class, stay there in a wonderful place and come back. For all this he is taking 1/4 of what it will take for any other trip. Then the economics of the trip are pleasing. What about this? Economics dash being called a dismal science. By the man who gave us, the man who gave us this version of capitalism has been quoted many times. This sentence has been quoted many times by Amartya Sen. See, economists know that their subject is, but they have spoilt it. You know, it was one of my favorite, the theory part of it is good. Yes, okay, economics, the subject is boring, is tough. No, theory is not boring. It's all the mathematical models that are put there with all those graphs. That's what makes it boring. It's a dismal science because you realize that what is good economics is never going to be liked by the population, by the general population. So the politicians, the government has to do something to make life a little easier. That's why they say, okay, now we come to the term hair. Is it singular or is it plural? And in this case, what should I say? This is the doubt you will have. Certain things you always have. Let me come back to those words which are troublesome. Yeah, what will be the correct answer for whatever is the number of the question? I don't know. Why are you calling me? Don't call me. Huh. Okay, I forgot to put in. So what will be the answer? What will be the answer? Shantanu says there is hair in the soup. There is hair in soup. There is a hair in soup. There is a hair in the soup. एक strand बाल soup में गिरा है. When you are talking of all the hair on your head, it is considered a singular. Understood? All the hair on your head. I won't say, why have you cut your hairs? I'm going for a haircut. My hair is curly. My hair is straight. Now my hair is grey. And I refuse to put a dye on it. Somebody told me, the camera person when I do classes in the studio here, he told me, ma'am, you should dye. And I told him, I'd rather die than die. Unfortunately, nobody appreciated my joke. Okay? क्यों लगाना है? I am 20 plus. Okay, oh yeah. Okay, I am 20 plus. That is the truth, not a lie. 20 plus how much? Please don't try to. This side I have to write. Then you can see. Write on the right side. Left में तो मैं खड़ी हूँ. To your left. Okay. All right. So, what if I tell you this is the correct answer? Because a strand of hair is a hair. So, I will say he has a lot of grey hairs. Don't we say? We don't say he has a lot of grey. Well, if you say, then you're wrong. But you don't say she has curly hairs. He has straight hairs. You don't say. When you're talking of all the hair on your head, it's a singular. But when you're talking of strands, like I have a lot of grey hairs in my head. Got it? So there is one. Otherwise, it's the other way around. All right? Okay. Now, generally when you are talking, this is a sentence related to adjectives. Whenever you are talking of adjectives, you remember two things. What adjective has been used? As in, do I use a positive, comparative or superlative? Okay. Even a negative adjective is called an adjective in positive degree. Okay. Second, when there is a comparison, make sure that are you using the correct comparison. Than, बहुत सारी चीज के लिए you use than. Older than, bigger than, fine. Greater than, fine. But elder to, prefer something to something, not over. I prefer coffee to tea. Alright. Then, order of adjectives is also important. Okay. So, what is the rule? There is a long list. When you look at Wren Martin will give you, and I don't want to scare students by give you. I just tell you, read the sentence. Does it look right? Are you comfortable with it? How would you say it? How would you say this sentence? Something kuch to galat hai. That is enough. You have to play it by ear. Okay, by the way, is it play it by the ear or play it by ear? Did I say the right thing? I don't know. I get sometimes tongue gets twisted, right? Let me drink some water. So when you just use your instinct, your inherent sense, there are no notes in front of you, you can still pick up a tune and can play Kesaria on your guitar or whatever. Then you are playing it by the ear or by ear. Ishita's come up with the answer that it should not be black heavy steel trunk, it should be heavy black. By ear, there is no the there. Chinmay is right. Tell you why. This was a CAT question many years back when CAT used to ask, you know, they were slightly more, let's say, instead of giving you summary and parajumbles as the breather, which is equally hard, they used to give these. And students would cry. This is worse because you can't learn these things. You read and you collect this knowledge instinctively. It's only by ear, not by the ear. Okay. And we Indians use by the ear most often. It's not black heavy. Black heavy is wrong. It should be heavy black steel trunk. Second thing you need to know in adjectives is it, which is correct? A, only B, only C, or both B and C, both A and B? Tell me. Is it likely that there are, oh, let me move to this side. Okay, understood. More taller, more tall, or just taller? Or B and C both are correct? Only A, only B, only C, only B and C, only A and B? What do you think is the correct combination? He is more taller than me, or I. We'll do this when we do pronouns. Okay, this will do. He is more taller than his father. Let's put it like this. Abhishek Bachchan is more taller than his dad. Abhishek Bachchan is more tall than his dad, or he is taller than his dad. I've got C and I've got an answer for B and C. Jayant, when taller is an expression, you don't use more tall. More is used with those adjectives which have more than 2 syllables, 2 or more syllables. So beautiful, yes, your tongue is touching the palate 2-3 times, that's called a syllable. Okay, what you say at one breath is 1 syllable. So beautiful, 3 syllables. So therefore you will say that will have more beautiful, more splendid, but you don't say beautifuler. Well, nowadays everything is happening. When it can be love story in Hindi, why can't it be in English? But that is not accepted grammatically. Okay, so taller is there, therefore you don't say more tall. Whiter also is an expression, by the way. Alright, therefore the correct expression is taller, not more tall. Got it? Alright. Same rule, similar rule is there for adverbs. You know that an adverb, 2 things, you need to use a correct adverb. Second, the placement of adverbs is very important in a sentence. Troublesome thing these adverbs is. See, there is a difference between, let's finish this question. I'm getting carried away. Okay, one question leads to the other. Let's finish this question. Then I'll tell you one, when you talk of adverbs, there's always the problem of which word to use. Adjective, adverb confusion. Second is the placement of the adverb. Third is, if I have an adverb, he often helps me, he helps me often. In some cases, both are correct. Third one is, if you have more than one adverb in the sentence, what order should you place it in? Correct? This sentence has that. He walks enthusiastically in the garden every evening to stay fit. He walks to stay fit enthusiastically in the garden every evening. He enthusiastically walks every evening in the garden to stay fit. अच्छा, ये walks enthusiastically walks होगा. And to stay fit every day, he walks in the garden every day enthusiastically. Ishita Joshi says it's A, confidently, right at the beginning. Jan says it's C. Generally, what do we say? After the verb, unless it's a verb of frequency. So, walks enthusiastically is preferred to enthusiastically walked. We say everything, gadbad karte hain in spoken English. But remember, frequency, often go out, often do this. Frequency adverbs, sometimes they can be used before the verb. In other cases, when it is manner, this is manner, right? How do you walk? That is placed after the verb. So, walks enthusiastically. So, the rule is A is the correct answer. The rule is manner. How does he walk? Place, frequency. At 5 PM लगा दिया तो यहाँ पे लगेगा, okay, time and purpose. That's the rule. Manner, place, frequency, time, purpose. Sometimes you get a sentence like this. Sometimes. Got it? Remember, for frequency you use it before, otherwise generally after. There are always exceptions. Acha, I had to ask you this. Correct? Adverb, acha, ye, why am I rubbing it off? See, I want to do so many things. What is the difference? Okay. She sat closely beside or close beside or besides me. क्या होगा? She sat, let me write it properly. I'm a lefty, so it makes it difficult. When something is put, I write with the paper like this. Okay? यहाँ पे frequency we haven't put. We haven't put frequency. Every evening, that is the frequency, sorry. We haven't put the time. Okay, at 7 PM we have not put. Every evening is the frequency. She sat close or closely beside or besides me. This is a that kind of question. Okay, let me erase this. What would you say? Yeah, enthusiastically is correct. Closely beside me. Okay, what's the difference? So the question is obviously testing the difference between close and closely, beside and besides. Correct? This is a typical that question. Okay. Bagal mein, okay, something that shows lack of distance, whatever. That, the word, the adverb for distance is close. Closely means, look at this, what will I say? There's nothing here. Look at this, or I'm holding this. Look at this closely. Isko gaur se dekho. Look at it properly. Understood the difference? Closely means carefully, attentively. So here you are saying she sat close beside him, उसके बगल में. Beside means next to me. Besides means in addition to. So besides English, logic and maths are tested, or quant is tested. English ke alawa, that is besides. Right? Everybody got that? Okay. Next question. I don't even know the question number. I'm lost. I don't know how many questions are left. Doesn't matter. Quickly. Identify the incorrect option. That means 3 sentences are correct, 1 is wrong. Tell me which one is wrong. Agreement of verb with subject. I've tried to cover everything. All in half an hour. Ren and Martin in half an hour, 40 minutes. 40 minutes ho gaya. The coach together with his team was praised. Many a boy is tempted to sing. The king with all his sons were imprisoned. Neither James nor his lawyers were there. Which is incorrect? खुशी thinks it's B. Incorrect. ठीक है, हो सकता है. I'm not saying anything. Prathna thinks it's C. Okay, only 2 answers. Where are the rest? Quick, guys. So what are these? What is this called? This is called a prepositional phrase. When you have a prepositional phrase, ignore it. Coach is singular, so the coach was praised. Rahul Dravid was praised. Yes. Now, generally we don't use this very dramatic way of saying it. We say many boys are tempted to sing. Many boys ka other way of saying it is many a boy, and the verb is singular. With all his sons, yes, you are right. With all his sons is a prepositional phrase. In earlier times, everything was offset by commas. You don't do it anymore. Commas are not used as, or they're either overused or underused. So, with all his sons is a prepositional phrase. So, you have to say the king was imprisoned. So, this is wrong. Alright, here neither X nor Y. So, there are 2 subjects. So, this second subject, the verb is agreeing with that. Therefore, this is also correct. Got it? Okay, excellent. Choose the part of the sentence which has an error. If there is no error, mark D. My father was good at making stories. He was actually. But am I using the correct English or not? I'll tell you how I can claim this. My father was very good at making stories, or no error. This is fine. What do you think? Question number to pata nahi hai. So I think that answer that Chinmay gave was for the previous question. Okay. Which part of the sentence has an error? Quick, guys. My father was very good at making stories. Is that correct? Read it aloud, articulate it. Now, when I say read it aloud, that's a very disturbing habit. In an exam, there was somebody sitting opposite me during the CAT exam, and I swear, he or she was reading, and I couldn't concentrate. Okay, okay, Chinmay and Prathna and Vrinda think it's B. You think it's very good in? What is the option? Why is it wrong? Why is B wrong? Why do you think B is wrong? What do you think is the correct expression here? What should I say? Chinmay, Prathna, Vrinda, you marked B. What do you think the correct sentence is? Just to check, and then I'll tell you whether you're right or wrong. Ishita thinks it's D. I think this is the first mistake you're making, Ishita. I don't know. I didn't see your answers, but I think if I'm not very good at remembering now. Earlier I used to remember my students' names and their nicknames also. Now I don't remember names. Galat bhi padti hu. You are good in some things, but you are good at. So this is correct. This is correct. Making stories. Your father sits and makes stories. कहानियां बनाते हैं. So what do you say? Concocting stories. Making up stories. Concocting stories. You know, when we were children, there was a fridge in the house. I don't belong to the age of the dinosaurs, but during summer we had that mud pot, surai, in which there was water. We would come back playing, sweating, and then I'd take the surai and try to drink water straight from it. It was this huge pot, right? So my dad called me and he told me, do you know, in summer the pot is very cool, so scorpions also take refuge in the pot. So when you are drinking water like that, one scorpion would just come down and hold. It happened to a cousin of mine who really good at making up stories. But I never really drink anything like that. First I test what is there. Glass bhi hai to dekhti hu kahin koi scorpion to nahi hai. Good at making up stories. Okay, some uncle of mine, oh, that happened, he got bitten by a scorpion. Really? Okay. Your account should have been credited with 3 months interest. I'm not saying anything. Just look at the sentence and tell me if it's right or wrong. Your account 3 महीना का interest नहीं डाला है. I should have given it to you. Such lovely words do we ever? That's just another dream, right? Okay, guys, we're running out of time. Okay, we'll finish quickly. No more stories. I will not make up any more stories. Quick, A, B, C or D. Acha, tell me. Very awkward sentence, but it is not wrong. Vrinda, why is B wrong? Okay. No, let me say something nice. His, unknown his. His 1 month notice period is over. He has 1 month's notice period. Was that correct? First one 1 month is acting as an adjective. He sells door handles means he is a door handle seller. 3 month interest to nahi hoga. 3 is 3. Okay. My house will be ready in 3 months. 3 mahine mein. This is the plural. You can't say 3 months. This is correct. 3 mahinon ka interest. This is correct. Interest worth 3 months. 3 months. Very awkward sentence, but it is not wrong. This is what was tested in SNAP. We looked at there are different ways. Interest for 3 months has been missed would be a much preferred sentence. But if you have to say 3 mahinon ka rent dena hai, so this is grammatically okay. It's just like this. Let me think of things ending with S. Which is correct? Boys' school. Which is correct? Boys' school, BOY apostrophe S school or BOYS apostrophe school. The earlier, this sentence I agree is awkward, but it's not wrong. This was asked in the exam, which is why I have given you. I have not given you any common questions. I gave you questions which raised some controversy, right? So if this is correct, the same principle is there. 3 months in plural, we owe you interest for 3 months. Therefore, if you have to put it that way, it becomes 3 months' interest. Boys' school, there is no indication here of something meant for boys. So it is wrong, Brinda. So then what is the difference between 10 boys and boys' school? School meant for boys becomes BOYS apostrophe. What you actually mean to say is boys's. Got it? We don't say it because it's too much hissing sound. So in English, we omit the other S and just put an apostrophe. So the other S is understood. And when you speak, you don't say boys's, but continue to say boys' school. Girls's, you don't say, you say girls' school. All right. Choose the sentence where the underlined word is used inappropriately. Which one is wrong? Oh. Two. Okay. I should have put options. A is wrong. Next one. Is there any other mistake? A is incorrect. Is there any other mistake? A, I agree. There's another mistake in the sentence. Choose that. There's another mistake. Between B, C and D, there is an error in one. Okay, one was inadvertent typing mistake. Second one was the actual mistake. All right. Okay, whose car? Kiska car? Okay, who's at the door means who is. That is different. All right, what is an unreasonable fear of fire called? Quickly, pyrotechnique, pyrophobia, kleptomania, or agoraphobia. Find out the meanings of the other options. We don't have time, we're running out of time. I was planning to do all with you. All right, whom is correct? Perfect, perfect. Unreasonable fear of fire, what's it called? Unreasonable fear of fire, what's it called? Pyrophobia. Any fear of anything is phobia. Therefore, pyrophobia. Good. Remember the other words. Look up the meanings if you do not know. An expert at storytelling. Those of you I am good at, expert at storytelling is a or an what? Raconteur, novelist, innovative, or confabulist. Expert at storytelling, what is he? He, she, they, whatever. Write down the name or you and I are both clueless about the question number. An expert at storytelling is, guys, we have to go, it's time, is a raconteur. Okay, A. Jayant, find out the meaning of a confabulist and tell me in the next class. What is the word used for the process of deciding a political question? Raconteur, A is correct. Yes. What is the word used for the process of deciding a political question by a direct vote of the entire population? Election, nomination, interregnum, or referendum? Vote on an issue by the entire population is called election, nomination, interregnum, or referendum. Deciding a political question. Good, good. If you guessed it right, fantastic. Okay, it's called a referendum. Find out what is interregnum. All right. Something unfit for human consumption, unpalatable, indelible, inedible, inimitable. क्या है? Unfit for human consumption. Unfit for human consumption. Unpalatable, indelible, inedible, inimitable. You can't eat it. Unfit for human consumption is inedible. Indelible cannot be erased. Inimitable cannot be imitated. Unpalatable, not tasty. So I bake well. I can't cook for nuts. Well, sometimes it comes out well. So then it's edible but unpalatable, most of my food. अच्छा है. Members of my family look like refugees from some country having shortage of food. ठीक है, हो गया. All right, we did lots of grammar, some vocabulary. I was planning to do, I will do it next time. Okay, I'll keep track of the questions and then I'll do a quick idioms and phrases classes where we will do it in alphabetical order. There's so many of them that you don't know what to choose. Sometimes I choose the same ones, the most frequently asked ones, and you think, Arey yaar, I think I did it in the last class. To keep track is difficult. So this time we'll do the alphabetical order one. All right, CAT College Predictor with your profile. Go and see along. Then you will know which colleges are good for you. All right, Score Calculator Percentile Predictor to accurately predict your score. Join us on the social media so you can keep track of all the sessions that we have on our YT and app. We're going to be starting off lots of sessions for that. The crash course and others. So watch it and join our OMET courses if you are very serious about getting into one of these B schools. Yes, Smriti, we'll do one only for idioms and phrases. There are too many of them. All right, there might be some repetition. It's difficult to keep track of what I've done earlier. And all right, I will see you all very soon. Until then, bye-bye. Yeah, take care. Just keep reading. Just go through some lists of commonly asked questions and stay cool. Bye.